Crosby, and you're listening to the Mean Joe Grizzly Podcast.
Hey, it's Tom Matthews from Return of the Living Dead and Friday the 13th, Part 6, to name a few, and you're listening to the Mean Joe Grizzly Podcast. Enjoy.
Hey guys, Tyler Mann here, and you're listening to the Mean Joe Grizzly Podcast.
Hi, I'm John Russo, screenwriter of Night of the Living Dead. Welcome to the Mean Joe Grizzly Podcast. Enjoy.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch.
What up, me Militia? Mean Joe Grizzly here. And when I'm not once again walking away from an M. Night Shyamalan movie underwhelmed or disappointed, I'm at the Grizzly Cave, watching movies, reading comics, listening to metal, and of course, crushing beers. And I am fresh out of the theater from seeing Trapped, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie where a serial killer is being cornered at a fake Ariana Grande concert and has to find his way out. But before we get started, please make sure to follow me on all social media pages, subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts, and subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking the links in the description below. By doing that, you'll help me continue to talk about all forms of badassery. So, does Trapped fall into the normal mediocre to subpar M. Night Shyamalan movies, or does it stand out like The Sixth Sense, Signs, or Unbreakable? Let's find out. This is Grizzly Grade Reviews. When Cooper takes his daughter to a pop concert, he soon finds out that it is all orchestrated just to lure a serial killer into a trap. And that serial killer is him. Yeah, I know that I'm a fool for what I'm about to say, but I was really excited about this movie. I was like, M. Night Shyamalan has, given us, some pretty good ones over the years. And it kind of comes in phases with him. He'll release one, then he'll have at least two shitty ones, and then he'll have a decent one and then a good one. And then it's just this perpetual pattern with him. So I was like, this one's going to be the one that's damn good. This one's going to be up there with The Sixth Sense, with Signs, with Unbreakable, his really good one, Split. And I was wrong. And I know I sound like a fool. I want to like M. Night Shyamalan. I want to love his movies, but he cannot get out of his own way to save his life. And I'll elaborate on that later. Let's talk about what the movie's plot is in case you haven't seen the trailer and have been living under a rock. So the story centers around Cooper, and Cooper is a serial killer known as the Butcher. Yep, really original name. And he's taken his daughter to see this pop star called Lady Raven. She's like a knockoff Ariana Grande. That's the best way I can describe her. And he is in this huge arena with 30-something thousand people there. And he starts noticing the closer they get to the venue, and once they get inside, that there is an abnormal amount of cops there. And he eventually gets super curious because he literally cannot go anywhere without seeing groups of cops or FBI agents everywhere. So everything just seems really, really sketchy. So through means that are absolutely fucking ridiculous and would never happen in real life, he finds out that he's been lured into a trap, that they somehow found out that he was going to be at this concert that night. So they have formulated this plan to where they are going to lock down this damn concert venue, and they're not letting anybody go until they catch him. They have every single fucking exit covered and the outside. So that's majority of the movie. That's not where all the movie takes place at, but that's the majority. And I was okay with most of it taking place in this venue. I was like, you know what? Maybe they're going to do like a Die Hard-esque movie, like he's like the serial killer John McClane, and he's doing all this crazy shit to like try to get out of this place. But they didn't do that. They literally had him going around and just gathering information, trying to get one step ahead, trying to figure out, like, he steals a radio, he gets access to areas that he can't get access to, like with key cards and stuff. He just does unbelievable stuff in this movie. In no world in this situation with a merchandise worker, someone who's, you know, selling t-shirts and shit at concerts, would say, hey man, you sound like a nice guy, why don't you come back here? And then proceed to not only spill the beans about the whole operation that you're not supposed to be fucking talking about, but then you fucking give him your password. Like, all the employees were given passwords, like, literally, hey, what's the password? And you're supposed to give this password. It's a designated password for different groups. Each one has a different one, allegedly. And the dude just said, yeah, man, ours is such and such. It's like, no fucking way that this would really happen. Like, am I just dumb? I just don't think that any of that would ever fucking happen. So it was dumb. There's in all this shit's in the trailer, so I'm not really spoiling anything for you. There's a point where he throws these jars of peanut oil into a fryer. Now, this place is busy as hell. There are lines everywhere full of people getting like refreshments at the concession stand. And somehow this guy, who is humongous, he's tall. Josh Hartnett looks tall as shit in this movie. Like, I don't know if he's actually that tall in real life, but he looks like he's 6'5". Like, I can't confirm nor deny his height, but he looks tall as shit in this movie. And somehow he got his big ass behind that counter, dropped 2 big ass glass jars full of oil into boiling, burning hot oil in a fryer, and then got away. On top of that, he did that to create a diversion, but on top of all that, there was only like one worker back there, and apparently it was a manager worker, and she looked in this fucking fryer and seen that there was 2 bottles of oil inside this fryer bubbling, and she just stood there and fucking looked at it in disbelief. And it blows up in her face, which you don't get to see. You get to see the aftermath. You don't get to see it actually hit her in the face. So if you're in here looking for like gore, it does not exist in this movie. This movie's, I'm going to go as far as to say this movie is bloodless. I don't think there is any blood in this movie. And I don't really understand how you can have a alleged horror movie about a serial killer being trapped and not have any blood. Ain't no blood at all. No violence at all. There was hardly any violence in the movie. It was so weird. Like, I don't get it. I'll even go as far as to say, I don't even know if I could call this a horror film. It might just be a horror adjacent movie, like a thriller. I might just call this a thriller, but here's the thing. You gotta be fucking thrilled for it to be a thriller. And it's not thrilling at all. There's not really any tension built up, because the means by which these situations that are tension filled is introduced to us are so fucking unbelievable. I really want to talk about spoilers. So I'm going to give a spoiler alert here. If you want to go see this movie for yourself, then by all means, don't listen any further. Just go ahead and skip to the end and get my final review at the end. But we're going to talk about spoilers right now. So 3, 2, 1, you've been warned. So there is a point in this movie where the pop star, her name is Lady Raven. She has a thing that she does at every one of her shows where it's called the Dream Girl or Dream Kid or something like that, where she picks a random person out of the crowd and brings them up on stage with them. We see this all the time in concerts of all forms of life. And that wasn't a problem. It was the means by which he got this to happen, because obviously they picked his daughter. And the way they picked him is he walks up to this like show hand, like this staff member for Lady Raven, and it's M. Night Shyamalan playing himself. But he's like, hey, my daughter just got over leukemia, and we just want to say we're really happy to be here, and we're so thankful that she came to our city, blah, 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 blah. And, oh, where are you sitting at? Yeah, we're going to get her up on the Dream Girl segment. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Takes her on stage, she dances with her. Getting on stage is one thing, but I guess it would be equally ridiculous if she, by chance, just got picked. But either way, it's almost like they're sitting there and they're trying to make Josh Hartnett, the character of Josh Hartnett's playing, they're trying to get him to seem a lot smarter than what he is, or a lot craftier, or a lot cunning than he is. He's kind of a buffoon, and a buffoon might be a strong word. How about he telegraphs all of his moves? He's so fucking awkward in the movie. And it's like, when I say it's awkward, it's like, it's cartoonish. Like, not gonna lie, this is exactly how he sounds. Oh, hey, how you doing? My name's Cooper, and this is my daughter Riley, and we're a happy family. Like, not bullshitting you, that's how he sounds. And it doesn't make any sense. It just sounds so disingenuous. If I met somebody that talked like that, I would automatically think they were a fucking robot, or they were brainwashed or something. It might be another case of AI wrote this script. But if you go back and watch other M. Night Shyamalan movies, they talk like weirdos in those too. And there's definitely some moments in this movie where I'm just like, huh? Nobody fucking talks like that. But his character is like the biggest like standout when it comes to sounding ridiculous. He's like Flanders from The Simpsons. Howdy ho. Alrighty, we're gonna go. How about we table this conversation and we reconvene on Saturday for pizza, and we can sort all this out, guys. Like, no, nobody fucking talks like that, man. And if they do, nobody's taking them serious. It was odd. It was an odd choice. But anyway, she goes on stage, she dances with the pop star, and they get invited backstage. And he's like, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to sneak out backstage. And then he sees that the exit back there is covered with cops. And there's a control center in the backstage, where all the cops are sitting in. And the main profiler, the main FBI profiler's in there giving them all directions, saying, we're going to catch him, blah, blah, blah. And he just so happens to overhear this from 20 feet away. And eventually is like, okay, I'm just gonna like take control of this situation by pretty much making this pop star do whatever the hell I want her to do. So he goes into her dressing room with her to allegedly talk about his daughter's leukemia, so that she's aware of what's going on. And he essentially says, hi, I'm the guy you're looking for. I'm the butcher. Which would never fucking happen. And I have this victim pulls up his phone and shows her a video feed of this victim and says, if I press this button, he dies in less than 5 minutes, unless you will get me out of here. I need you to take us out and put us in your limousine and get us out of here. And she does it. The pop star Raven does it. And this is another part where there's no fucking way this would happen in real life. So then Raven and the daughter and Cooper, Josh Hartnett's character, are all in the back of the limo, and Raven's just like, hey, how about I go to your house? Oh yeah, come on, go to our house. And Josh Hartnett's like, no, what are you doing? So if you keep doing stuff like this, I'm going to kill this guy. And she just gets more and more brave as this act unfolds. And this is all in the third act. So they go to the house. She eats like cake and shit with them. I think it's pie. They eat pie. And then like she's like, let me go over here and play this song on the piano. Hey, Riley, why don't you join me? They start playing the piano, which, by the way, the character Raven, all of her dialogue was written by AI. There's no way. Her dialogue is completely inhuman. She grabs his phone somehow and runs to the bathroom and locks herself in. And she goes live on TikTok or whatnot. And it's like, hey, if you see a building with this, that, or other there's a person in the basement. Please go save them. So with her doing that, they seemingly completely dismantle this serial killer's whole plan, and he ends up getting his family out of the house, or locking his family in a room so that he could pretty much take Raven and kidnap her and leave. And all that gets foiled, blah, blah, blah. And there is multiple points in this movie where he is cornered and he gets away, and there's no fucking way that would happen. It's impossible. There's one scene where they had the entire car surrounded, and somehow he snuck through and had a full brand new fucking outfit on. I'm rambling, and I know I am, and I'm all over the place, and I'm not trying to be. I just don't understand. I don't understand this movie. I don't understand why they had what I think is a good concept, and he shit the bed so bad. It was really disappointing. And shame on me, because I should expect this out of M. Night Shyamalan by now. And the movie is well made. It's well shot. They got good actors. It's the writing, and it's the fucking weirdness that M. Night Shyamalan brings into his movies. Oh, spoiler alert. Another spoiler alert here. The fucking twist at the end is the mom is the one, or the wife is the one who put the FBI onto his trail, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's the fucking twist? That's the fucking... That might have been the worst twist he's ever done. I don't get it. I don't know. Again, this movie's well made. It's well shot. It's got good cinematography, this, that, and the other, but I just wanted so much more out of this movie. So, once again, M. Night Shyamalan disappoints me, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think my patience is worn thin with him. And depending on what project he decides to do in the future, I don't know if I'm going to go to any more M. Night Shyamalan movies. I think I'm just going to rent them or watch them on a streaming service somewhere, because I'm tired of being disappointed by this guy. Not every movie is going to be Split. Not every movie is going to be Unbreakable. Not every movie is going to be The Sixth Sense, and not every movie is going to be Signs. But he could do a lot better than what he's doing right now. His writing just doesn't make sense, guys. Hell, I don't even know if he wrote this fucking movie, but he directed the damn thing, and he has to know that None of this shit makes any sense. And I understand that it's just a movie. It's fiction. It is make-believe. But if you're going to present it in a real-world situation, some of this shit's got to make sense. And none of it does. And none of it would ever happen. It's not even like a situation where there's a movie that Wes Craven did that nobody really remembers. But it has Cillian Murphy in it, and it's called Red Eye. The situation, if you've seen that movie, the situation that happens in that movie is 100 times more believable than the situation that happens in Trap. You can fully believe that situation over this one because of how it's structured, because of how it's written. I'm trying I did not want to come on here and just shit all over this movie. Like, literally, I've been ranting about the dumb shit that's happened in this movie this entire time. And to be honest with you, that's a bummer for me, because I don't like doing that. And contrary to popular belief, movie critics and amateur ones like me, we don't like shitting on movies because we know that people worked hard on those movies. We know how much goes into making a movie. And I don't think anybody sets out to make a shitty movie. But there's something to be said about a director's ego and how that ego can be so self-destructive. And honestly, I think M. Night Shyamalan's one of those guys. I think Rob Zombie's one of those guys. I think that they are very similar in their controversy in the form that neither one of them will compromise that to save their life. They're going to do their style of how they do things, and they're going to do it the way they fucking want it, and they don't care what anybody else thinks. It don't matter how shitty it is. They're going to do it. So I guess all I'm going to say is that I was disappointed, and I'm never getting my hopes up for an M. Night Shyamalan movie again. And don't go see this movie. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie, and the stuff that doesn't happen in the trailer is ridiculous to the point that you're just going to be sitting there wondering, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Why are we doing this? This movie should have ended 30 minutes ago. So with all that being said, Trapped gets a 2.5 out of 5 and is not Grizzly grade guaranteed. I wouldn't go see this movie if I were you. I'd save my money and watch it on streaming. But if you want to go see it, it's currently at a theater near you. And that does it for another episode. Make sure you click the links in the description and subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts, and also follow the YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the content I'm bringing your way. Also, make sure you check out Carl Casey at Whitebat Audio. He is a synthwave master, and his music is being used throughout each episode, so check him out on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. So the streak of good movies comes to an end, and it's very disappointing that it had to come to an end right now. Hopefully a new streak of good movies will start, because Cuckoo and Alien Romulus are our next two movies that we're going to be reviewing, and I am excited to see both of them. Like, they are on my most anticipated list of this year, so I really hope that they don't let me down. It's what I get for banking on M. Night Shyamalan, I guess. But until the next episode, head on over to the YouTube channel. Check out the first episode, The Grizzly Guide, where I cover Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. Go check out the latest episode of the Monster Manual, where I cover Gozer the Gozerian from Ghostbusters. Check out my Mean Joe video episode, where I talk about Ty West's House of the Devil. And stay tuned for new episodes in each one of those segments, hopefully coming this month. Got a couple that are almost finished, and hopefully I'm going to be getting them out within the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, what are you waiting for? Because that's where most of my content is about to go. That's going to be the primary platform to listen and view my content. So if you haven't yet, make sure you go over there and subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss any of the content that I'm going to be bringing you. So until next time, remember, I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch.